Today we will travel to a group of single-celled eukaryotes. Its members mostly live in pond scum and leaf litter, so you might think that they're not very interesting or charismatic, but I promise you, you'll be amazed.
Bernoulli's use of two different metals. Inspired, he set about recreating the torpedo ray's cell column using alternating types of metal.
You adjust your position until they do. Now remember Einstein's second assumption: the speed of light is always the same. This means if you can send photons to...
Say we have a beer keg, and we want to calculate how fast beer will drain when we first open the tap at the bottom. All we need to do is define our 2 points along a streamline and apply...
And because a byte has 8 digits of binary to work with, and 8 digits of binary can represent up to 255 values, ASCII had 255 letters and symbols to choose from.
It will be as big and beautiful as this orchid mantid.
Growing into a polyp, and the whole process starts over. Start to finish, it can all be done in about a week. It's like a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar. And if that...
We have an electric signal, so how do we convert it to an electromagnetic wave? You might have a simple answer in your mind. That is, to use a closed conductor, and with the help of the principle of electromagnetic induction.
I just think there's something incredible about any network doing this well on images that it's never seen before, given that we never specifically told it what patterns to look for. Originally, the way that I
encoding data in pulses of light that travel around the world, carrying our phone calls, business conferences, and important internet data. But now hold on a second. How exactly do...
Super gross. After eating, sometimes while it's eating, the bug poops. And that poop and urine
are made of cells, which we study in biology. These cells are made of large biomolecules, like proteins and DNA, which we study in biochemistry.
To understand how microwaving a grape gives you plasma, we first need to know a few things, like...
That's because real light travels as a wave, and so you get something called diffraction. Light bends around corners, essentially. In this simulation, you can see it quite nicely. Look, the waves originate in this region.
Now let's go back to deep space. What happens if you turn on the rocket thrusters and accelerate at 9.8 meters per second squared?
There are paradoxes out there that suggest reality doesn't work the way we think it does. And now, some physicists think they've solved a 50-year-old paradox. But have they? And what are the other?
Feeding their young with their own milk. But scientists have struggled to understand the strange adaptations and behavior of the arapaima because the fish have become increasingly endangered due to...
Their diameter measured around 10 centimeters, and they were protected by a bony sclerotic ring. It is thought that Ophthalmosaurus could see well in the dark, which was a valuable asset for deep...
If we move the red piece forward, it'll connect to the output shaft with this big gear. And this is basically first gear. The power goes through the drive shaft from the small gear to the big gear and then to the output. If we draw it as a...
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how solids of constant width could have led to the 1986 Challenger disaster. On January 28, 1986, around 72 seconds after liftoff...
And the sensitivity of this metal detector head is profound. Researchers found that newborn bonnethead sharks can detect electric fields less than 1 nanovolt per square centimeter.
To find this structure is more interesting because it's a chance to understand how they lived and how they do for cooking, eating.
The way bees work together is a lot like how the individual neurons in the human brain work together, and studying their behavior may give insight into our own minds.
In the flight controller, Arduino board and radio-controlled receiver, which allowed me to actuate the valves from my controller.